I am a real life trader and I am here to be good. And by good, I mean get out of it and achieve your financial dreams. Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday. It is Transportation Thursday, and my parents are transporting themselves up to visit me. So I'm pretty happy about that. My dad's not on the webinar, but he usually is. But he's driving in. So we placed a trade. I think Lewis found this one on Bank of New York Mellon Corporation. This is a bullish gap, but it had been rolling down, formed a nice little, I don't know if that's an inverted head and shoulders or a double bottom here on support. And you guys know me, I like the retest. So it broke out of that here, retested, rolled back down, and then that's where we placed our entry and our stop below that. This thing has a crazy reward risk ratio. We do have about an hour and 5 minutes left, so we'll see what that does. Morgan Stanley was a high of the day retest. It was a retest like BK was. See how it broke out of the pattern, rolled back down, and then that's how we placed our entry. Morgan Stanley is similar, except it had a high of the day. So here was the high of the day, and broke out of the high of the day. It rolled back down and retested this old resistance as new support. So we placed the trade there. We've hit 2R, and then I just put 37 as a second target, just because that's kind of a round number. When it hit the first target, I moved my stop to break even. And when it hit the second target, I moved my stop to the 20 exponential because it has not crossed that. So right now, this thing will either go up or it'll go down. I know, how insightful is that? But I believe if it breaks across 37, I'll move my stop up to the bottom of this formation here, as that looks like another swing pivot point. And Microsoft has just been doing some crazy stuff. I'm trying to figure out where to put my stop on that one. Microsoft, again, had a topping pattern up here. This is a retest of that topping pattern as it broke through the bottom here, retested a little bit high wicks there to call that a retest, but at any rate, we were counting on this. Let's see, we set this one up in the morning session, at the very end of the morning session, but looking at this as some sort of continuation pattern of this last bearish move, and it did break bearish, and it hit 2R here, sold half, moved my stop to break even, and then I moved my stop down to this swing point, and then sold the half that I had left when it hit the low of the day, and now it has broken down. This is a crazy, this would be a parabolic sell-off. Usually those don't last, but it's now bouncing. I bet it comes back up and retests the low of the day, and then it'll either roll over and keep going back down, or it will it'll continue upwards. So I think based on that, I may, let's see, it's still just 3 o'clock. I think this is looking like maybe a 6R target down here. So I'm going to put another target down at the bottom of that. Let's see, so the low here is 40.86. So I will do another half of whatever I got left. Target, and let me switch over here to my broker, and I will make that a target. So that is 40.86, 40.86. And I'm going to do a buy limit because I am in a bearish position. And having to do math in my head right now is pretty scary, pretty scary. So I'm going to buy it if it gets to 40.86 or lower. So that is a buy limit. Put that order in, and that is happiness. So some people on the floor, good gracious. So I'm going to have to move my stop up on Bank of New York Mellon Corporation. Apologize for those folks on the recording that were waiting for me to do swing trades, but Got 3 day trades, got people on the floor in these trades, and we need to be sure that we protect ourselves, manage our position. So now I'm going to move the stop on this one up to 36.91. And we'll make that one a stop. And let me go over here. I guess I need to place another target. Which one is that? That is Morgan Stanley. Actually, I think I'll just trail the stops for the rest of the day. Microsoft made such a drastic move, so that was a good call there. So I want to move that at 36.91. Something just triggered. I think BK triggered. Yep, we hit the target there. So now I need to move my stop up to break even, which is 40.15. BK for 0.15. Do a sell stop. Confirm, yes. All right. Let's go over and take a look at what the market did today. We were expecting a little bit of a bullish move. It looks like we got a big one. Sorry, that's a 5-minute chart. Why do you keep turning on? I don't want to chat right now. Thank you. So the SPY doing kind of what we drew a while back. So it came down, hit this pivot point, went up, and the big question that everyone is asking, and I'm asking it too, is this the bounce? The location where this candle is now, and granted we have another hour in the day, is right at the 50 exponential moving average. It is, coming into this gap to retest that, even though it was a gap and go. The volume today is really, really, really light. And when the volume is so light, that generally indicates that whatever signals are up here are of low import or low importance. I'm going to turn on the simples to take a look. So the 100 is there. So honestly, I'm confused. There, I said it. Because the 100 coming in does look like it should bounce, but if you look towards the past, there's very few V-bottoms like that. We did get one here, but most of the time it kind of messes around and does some congestion 3 or 4 or 5 days all going sideways before it bounces. This location, and especially if it closes above the open of this candle 2 days ago, that would be extremely bullish. The bounce off the 100 is extremely bullish, but because of the low volume and because of some of these other patterns, I just don't think I don't think we're ready for a bounce. Maybe if we got an intraday move tomorrow above what we have today, and this is very Morningstar reversal-ish also to add. But if we get a move into here tomorrow, then I would be more bullish than bearish. And I would say to put protective puts or a stop down in here. Actually, I'll just go ahead and draw that. If you are a buy the bounce type person on the indices, and I used to be, I just don't have time to do that kind of stuff anymore with kind of a crazy schedule. That's not quite 2 to 1, but that's how I would trade it. Honestly, I would really like this thing to go sideways just a little bit. I'd like it to go sideways for a little bit. This low volume really has me concerned that this is not a significant move. So if you are going to, that's what it is. I know I've said it a lot and I still stand by it. The most important thing is for you to have a plan and trade your plan. Okay. Questions, thoughts, opposing views? Let me go over here, turn on. Zane, I appreciate that compliment. I've had, Zane gave me, says my trading today has been insane. Yes, I'm having a good day. I'm anxious to look at the numbers when it's done. This may be my best day trading day ever. And, and while that sounds like I'm bragging, I had one of my longest string of losses. So I think I am up for them. I don't know. I'm not going to go check everything now, but yeah, having a good day today, but been having a rough March. Had a rough February too. At any rate, but I appreciate the compliment. And you know, a lot of these trades I'm doing, it's just what you guys say looks good to you, and you know, we're a team, and you know, I'm not going to take credit because a lot of these tickers you guys have suggested and asked me to take a look at, and you say, hey Brad, take a look at this ticker. What would you do? And sometimes I see a setup, and my trading plan says, hey Brad, if you see this criteria, then you trade it, and that's all I've been doing. But thank you for your compliment, and thank you for all of the help from my real life trading family. DIA has a very similar candle. The volume over here looks a little bit more significant than it did on the SPY. The location is a lot better, but I'm just not bullish yet. Maybe if we have a higher move tomorrow, you know, I guess I'd have to draw the same picture on the DIA that I did on SPY. So like an intraday move. And again, this is after close. So I want this candle to close, and then tomorrow if we go higher. And I have low confidence in this. I really want us to go sideways just a little bit more. Oh, everything's going to be reset, and I don't have. Yeah, there's not going to be any divergence yet. It's got to bounce for a little bit. So yeah, I would like for this thing to go sideways for a little bit before bouncing, but that's what it's going to do. I've been talking a little bit today that this might be a bull trap, meaning people see this and they jump in, and it might come up here to this pivot point and then come on down to the 200. That is extremely likely, especially on this low volume. So trade your plan, but be aware of this low volume and be aware that this is a very quick bounce. If this is a bounce, that's an extraordinarily fast bounce. I'm not going to go bullish on indices based on what I'm seeing. So no new information here from the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is not as high compared to yesterday's candle as the S&P 500 and the IA. And the way this candle looks, more about how I'm feeling on the DIA and the SPY. Again, pretty significantly low volume. We are, of course, not to the 100 yet on the NASDAQ like we are on the others, but this retest gap retested. This retest gap has retested. I guess that is a retest gap, not as strong as these other two, but a movement on the Qs before we go up, and the Russell 2000 is IWM. Wow, holy smokes! Now that is a bounce. Do have big strong volume. We have an incredible bullish gap. So if the Russell is bouncing, I'm starting to think that the DIA and SPY may bounce. So it could happen. A very interesting candle here. Holy smokes, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So based on what the Russell 2000 shows me, I am a little bit more confident on DAA and SPY. Angie, Chris Irwin, this is where I could really use someone else. And if I was trading this, I would certainly call a friend. What do you guys think on the floor? Angie and Dr. Irwin, do you think that this is the bounce? Go ahead. And what do you think, Angie?
I'm hesitating because I know it's a big old white candle, but
did you see this one on the Russell 2000?
Yeah, I did.
So,
Dang.
okay, so when you hear Angie's voice like that, when she's hesitating and I'm hesitating, um, this very well could be the bounce. It could be. Angie nor I are going to risk an R on this trade. How about I put it that way? Would that be a good way to say it, Angie? It could be the bounce. Um, Chris Irwin is
Yeah.
saying he's cautiously optimistic. Um, yeah. So someone's calling out Men's Warehouse. Yeah, uh, we were thinking about making this trade right here again. A retest. These two candles retested this breakout of this whole pattern here, but yeah, that thing is just nutso. If you want to day trade, why does that chat ping keep coming up? If you want to day trade Men's Warehouse, this pivot point is actually pretty significant. So you got 50 minutes, and that is not going to work. I was hoping it would bounce off of that line, but that would be my plan for Men's Warehouse. Let's see. BK is. I was thinking about moving my stop up to there, but I don't know. I'll give it another couple of minutes. Morgan Stanley is continuing on, but I don't feel like moving my stop just yet. And Microsoft has come up a little bit further than I thought, but looks like it hit the 20 exponential moving average and may go on down. This target did not trigger, so I'm going to scoot that over just a skidgen, and we'll go back to swing trading. Okay, so SPY DIA looks like the bounce, but cautiously optimistic is as I think Dr. Irwin put it great. Cautiously optimistic, and not going to risk an R on one of those trades. Saw some interesting swing trades today before I get into transportation stuff. Hewlett Packard. Oops. There is a pretty significant swing point down here, excuse me, based on these pivot points. Let me get this off of my chart. If we do get a close below here, which we're not, it looks like we're going to bounce. See the volume on this bullish candle? This is what a bounce usually looks like. So because we didn't get this volume on the DIA, we're all kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that one. But I would expect this thing to go sideways, maybe a little bit. But if we get a close above 33.21, I would be more bullish than bearish on Hewlett Packard. That may be the bounce. Oh, sorry, I take that back. This thing's gonna wait and go sideways. Wait for these exponentials to come in. If we do get a close below here, then I'd be more bearish than bullish. So I would not trade this bullish until these exponentials come in and catch it. The other one was Lumber Liquidators, LL. Okay, so this is exactly what I expect Hewlett Packard to do. Had a big, what seemed like a big bullish move, but it comes in and it's right now on the 10. So this could very easily roll over, but that is 3 big volumes in a row for it to roll over. So those will be interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, let's see. My mom, I think, is flying Southwest today. My dad's bringing the truck, and I'm getting a new grill donated by my brother-in-law. So we might be having steaks this weekend. Come on over. Donna Cummins is in town. So yeah, Southwest Airlines going sideways right now. Really, I'm almost thinking bracket trade this. If we get a close above there, you could take it bullish. If it comes down to there, I would go bearish. With that being the target for there and this being the target up here. So I guess I'd like this thing to come up here and maybe bounce a little bit, or even come off and bounce, and then by trade the retest like we have on Morgan Stanley. Trade this retest Here's the high. It broke out the high, and then it retested, and then that's what we traded. I'm so tempted to move my stop up. I think I'll move my stop up to the exponential moving average, which is 36.99 if you're in the Morgan Stanley trade with me. Modified pending order. Price 99. And I guess something happened on Microsoft. Did it go down again? Oh, it looks like Microsoft. I finally trailed out on Microsoft. So that one is over. And BK. All right, beautiful. I would love for this thing to bounce or move sideways a little bit, and then I'll move my stop up to the bottom of this wick. Actually, let me go ahead and draw some pictures in case there are day traders that are wondering what my current situation is. So I had that for a target that triggered. I now have my stop at the break even. This blue line is here for a reason. You know what? I would love to sell another half of my shares at the high, at this high. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this thing may roll down significantly. Oh, it looks like it's going to bounce there. So that's 40.38. So let me put in a sell order on BK at 40.38, and then we'll go look at some more airlines. So that will be a sell limit. All right. So that would be my plan on Southwest Airlines. That looks kind of messy. Let's see. Someone was asking that I look at Alaska Airlines, I think. So Alaska Air Group. Yeah. So this is, they're asking, is this the bounce? I do like this as being a bounce. So I would put in a line, something like, yeah, any close above that wick at the end of the day. So templates trigger end of day. I would do either a protective stop. I think I'd do a put. Buy a very quick protective put if it closes below that, and a stop down here. So my stop would be below this wick. Protective put, if it gets down, if it closes below this 50 moving average in the bottom of the swing, it's likely to go on down to the bottom of this swing. But this looks bullish to me. It's making higher highs and higher lows, and this does look like some sort of wonky double bottom inverted head and it's not a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. I don't know what that's called, the mashed potato dance, but it looks bullish to me. So you will have your first target up here at this high. That's not quite a 2-to-1, so I'm not in love with this trade, but someone was asking me earlier if this is the bounce. That is a bounce. And I wonder if we put some more data on this. Okay, so what I was thinking right now, I'm going to try this. If you guys are good with the fib tool on the floor, and let me switch over to that chat plane. Hey, Angie, could you take a look at the chat pane? People are talking about how many R's that they have gotten. If you could scroll through that and kind of write them down, let's announce that before we end the video. Let's announce how many, which people have made how many R's. So guys, if you're day trading today, go ahead and type in how many R's you're up. Yeah, go ahead and type that in, and I'm gonna brag about you guys on the recording. So, and in the meantime, I'm going to attempt to do I don't want a retracement, I want an extension. So I'm going to put the start of that being here, and then it went to there. Actually, that's close enough. And then it came down, and I'm going to call maybe that. So now I like where that target is, 78-ish. Yeah, 78 would be. I think if it gets to the first target, it will also get up to this to 78.08-ish. I did that Fibonacci tool very quickly. That is not a very clean placement, but I'm liking the trade a little bit more now. So that is Alaska Air Group. And let's go on. Ford Motor Company is kind of doing what we drew on here. Let me zoom in just a smidgen. So we had talked last week about how this was slowing down. There's some divergence. There is a retest gap here. So this right here may have been the divergence playing out, and we could bounce. And we said another good place to bounce would be at this circle, and then ultimately this purple circle down here. So let me get those off. And we'll see where we are at right now. The question is this a bounce? This is a nice big candle closing over a pivot point, closing above the EMAs. This is a gap and go, a nice little, I was about to call that a breakaway gap, but that's not a breakaway gap. This could be a candle to come up and retest this gap, and then it might continue on down. And the reason I say that is that as bullish as this candle looks, it doesn't have the volume behind it. We do have a retest gap that has yet to retest. So I think on Ford, this is not one that I would risk an R on, especially because your first target's going to be here, your entry's there, and the closest stop you could have is there, and that's less than a 1-to-1 reward risk ratio. So what I would, I think I might be looking for a bearish reversal signal in the next day or two on Ford, and you might get a heck of a reward risk ratio to take this thing on down. Questions, thoughts, opposing views? All right. Someone was asking me about a swing trade on Microsoft, and man, check that out. I got trailed out by a penny. And listen to me complain about making 3, maybe 4R on that trade. Soft on a daily. This was a bearish gap down. This is a topping pattern. Let me see if I can scoot my picture a little bit better. Okay, so this gapped down. It retested. This is certainly a rolling something or other. This looks head and shoulder-ish to me. Kind of, maybe that's a triple top instead. Yeah, I call it a triple top. This is a continuation. There's the retest of that, and now we're rolling on down. So my plan would have been to put my entry there and stop there, you know, because I like trading those retests. And then we have a bearish retest gap. We might go up a little bit before rolling over because that is a retest gap, but I'm seeing a lot of bearish sentiment on this picture. This whole Doometh thing, sorry for that technical term, Doometh thing, that looks bearish. This part looks bearish. This gap looks bearish. So I think it's going to go down for a little bit longer before it goes up. If you're not in this already, one trade idea might be to let it come down Wait till it comes down to this pivot point down here, because it will pause there and it'll either form some sort of descending triangle or it will break through that and retest. So I think you'll get a chance to use one of those two strategies. Either trade a descending triangle or trade the retest of the breakout. So that would be how I would swing trade Microsoft. I'm going to go back to the 5 minutes because after the recording, I'm going to update my notes. Got a lot of updating to do. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. Let's move on. If we look at Ford, we can look at General Motors. Ooh. Ooh. So Ford was looking moderately bullish. General Motors looks really bullish. So now the question is, how, Brad, would you trade General Motors? Who can guess how I would trade General Motors? Anyone want to type in a letter? Pick a letter. How you think I would trade General Motors if I were forced to trade it? Holy smokes. Steven Jackson said I would max out my credit cards going all in. Steven! Yeah, I don't think so. But hey, guys.
He's trying to be funny.
I'm going to brag about the folks on the trading floor here, because a lot of people are saying retest. A lot of people are saying retest, and this is a breakout. There are, you know what, for this one I probably would wait for the retest, just because we have had a lot of bullish candles in a row. So I do think we get a little doji, a little black candle, something over here tomorrow, and then that would be how I would trade it. Some of you said trade the breakout, and I don't hate that one either. You could buy today if it stays above that for the next 20 minutes, and I think it will, and put my stop right in there, because it should move at least the height of this bracket, and that would be, you know, that's about a 2 to 1. So those are two strategies that I use, and that is, yeah. But I think I would have to do a retest. But man, I don't know why I'm impressed. I shouldn't be impressed, because you guys are just amazing, and I am learning from you guys on the floor all the time on a daily basis. But man, I think that's pretty impressive how many people just type in retest or breakout. That's cool. Jeremy Newsom, you are doing a lot of things very, very right. We were also looking at Tata Motors. That's not Tata, it's TTM. Oh, and Tesla, we haven't looked at Tesla in a long time. So it's doing kind of what we drew up here. You know, we said, hey, if it breaks through this purple line, it's going to go down to this purple line. So I appreciate all of you real life traders that emailed the market or called down to the New York Stock Exchange and said, hey, this is the plan for Tata Motors, make it roll down to that next pivot point. And now it has gapped up. So the question that we all have is this the bounce? And I don't think that it is. I think Tata Motors is forming a very large descending triangle. I see that happening. So I would want to break beyond that line before I took it bullish, and then I'd be very hesitant about this pivot point and this pivot point. So I have a lot of doubts about taking Tata bullish yet. Let's check the simples. Ooh, that kind of changes the picture a little bit when the 100 simple moving average comes in. That volume is so low. I have a hard time believing that we're going to have a bounce when the volume is that low. So I think I would call for Tata Motors, TTM, to come down and make one more tick. And I bet you it bounces off the 100. And then we'll get another shot at breaking through this pivot point. But I think that's what TTM is going to do. If it if we do get a bearish candle below 45.78, I was going to say take it bearish, but you got the 200 in your way. Tata Motors needs to marinate, so we'll let it just sit there for a little bit. Tesla. Have no idea what that purple circle is about because it's nowhere in there. Oh, I think I was talking about a bear call spread or an iron condor-ish. Oh, Angie, remind me to check our check TAP for that trade. If you are in a bull put spread on Tesla, you may get a chance to practice your defense. And I guess I shouldn't make jokes because credit spreads are not fun to play defense on. But if we do get a move down below 185, wherever the bottom of this candle is, and I think we're going to get there. You know, this is almost kind of what I think the market may be doing. We have this low, we get a candle here that looks like a big bounce, and maybe it does a little bit, but then it just keeps on going down. So I'm seeing a lot of downward movement here on Tesla. It continues to make lower highs, lower high, lower high. At least for the short term, it has made lower lows. So I think this thing is going to continue rolling on down, and we'll see what it does when it gets here. Obviously, it bounced pretty significantly there, but if you are in a bull put spread below this line, I would be cautious. If you're in a bear call spread, I think that's the way to trade this one if there was premium there. Questions, thoughts, opposing views about Tesla? Actually, I kind of like those circles. Put those back and take this other chicken scratch off. All right, let's talk about TAP. And I know it's Transportation Thursday, but I want to take a look at Netflix and MasterCard because those have been doing some interesting things as of late.
Traveling today, huh?
Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I was on top of that one. And by the way, every time you ask me, Angie, remind me, Angie, remind me, you always remember. So you don't need me. You got it.
Angie, for you to say something like, I don't need you is pure silliness because you do so much behind the scenes.
You know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean. But so I started doing webinars in February, and I guess there was one time Jeremy's internet went out and I subbed for him. That was actually, I guess that was my first time to do a webinar and trade. But there is an amazing amount of work going on behind the scenes, and Angie does all of that. You know, there's taking notes when you guys type in your tickers that you want us to take a look at. Sometimes they come faster than I can keep up with. There's people that have trouble getting in. There's just so much that goes on behind the scenes. And Angie, thank you so much.
I remember that you couldn't share your screen for some reason, so I shared my screen and you talked and you narrated and told me what to do, and it was definitely this huge team effort. And you said, I don't know how Jeremy does the screen and the talking and the analyzing, and then here you are. Ta-da!
Well, actually, you know what? I've been practicing. So I did webinars pretty much daily with my dad, father-in-law. Roberta Schwartz joined us for a little bit. So yeah, I did about 2 or 3 months of practicing. That's how I did it, because it's craziness.
Yeah, it shows.
Speaking of craziness,
okay, so we're looking at our iron condor, yeah? Oh no.
Yeah,
we're gonna go look at.
I know there's some day traders in Morgan Stanley, so I wanted to make sure everything is safe here. Okay, need to move the stop up on Bank of New York Mellon Corporation because I know some people are in that one also. So the low of that candle is 40.26. So 40.25 is where I'm going to move my stop up to. And in about 10 more minutes, I'm going to start bailing out of stuff. So Bank of New York Mellon, 40.15 is now 40.25. So modify that one. 25, accept. And 40.38 is still a nice little target. Okay, so for tap, lovely, gorgeous bullish candle here. So the iron condor, I think, is safe. What did we do? We did this out to April, right? Oh, that's right. I didn't make it official for the floor because I don't do more than 3 or 4 weeks. I don't like to do more than I don't think I ever do more than 4 weeks. I rarely do more than 3 weeks. But at any rate, so this does look like a bounce. I would expect this to go up to the top of the channel. If you are channel trading this and you got in a buy order somewhere over here, you know, I expect it to roll on up to the top of the channel. I love channel trading. I should do that some more. That's fun. Oh, if I just had all the time in the world. All right, so the iron condor on tap looks solid. You know, it doesn't look solid is that we are making higher highs and, excuse me, we're making higher lows and lower highs. And that's premature to say that. Are we squeezing? We are. We're starting to. So see how sharply this Bollinger Band just turned up? And how this one, I guess it's still kind of down. These Bollinger Bands are pointed towards each other. I don't like that for non-directional. I don't think it's anything to get scared of yet. Okay, so we'll keep going on. Let's take a look at LinkedIn because there is a Bollinger squeeze that is getting tighter. Watch this one. I'm hoping it's going to gap out of that. And I hope it's on a day where I'm trading because I think when this thing pops, it's going to gap in a certain direction and it's going to go like the wind. See all these dojis, these little bitty tiny cute dojis? That means that there are people buying and selling and they're almost perfectly balanced. And wow, yeah, when this thing goes, it's going to go. Hats off to my dad for finding this one. And then let's see, some people were in Netflix. Netflix has been doing exciting stuff. Again, I think this may be a bull trap because there's low volume. That is an extremely bullish candle, but it's on low volume. It is bouncing at a pivot point. We were so far out of the bands that this pullback should be expected. This pullback could go all the way up to the 20 simple before I would be thinking anything about a significant bounce on Netflix. So I think Netflix goes sideways. MasterCard. What I'm seeing on MasterCard is that it came down. It failed to touch the bottom of this band before going up with that big bullish candle. So that is surprising to me. I'm trying to find somewhere else on the picture where it failed to touch the bottom and then went bullish. I guess that's kind of it. I'm starting to get more of a bullish sentiment on MasterCard now. If you guys were trading that one. I don't think I'd make an entry on it based on this candle, but the fact that this candle did not get to the band and we have moved up is not the bearish I've seen in my life. On the other hand, this is a retest gap, so this just could be a retest of this retest gap. This is double top-ish. This is the breakout, and this could just be the rest retest. So let's see what this does. I'm getting kind of conflicting views on it. The low volume on this candle, I guess that's not too terribly low volume. At any rate, I'm not going to go bullish on MasterCard just yet. I still think there is more bearish edge than bullish edge. This is certainly a Bollinger Band double top. That's a normal candle pattern double top. I expected this candle here to touch the band is kind of what's throwing me off. Guys, start typing in what the earnings that are coming up and what things you want me to look at for. Yeah, Steven just typed in, do you think MasterCard could be retesting the double top? That is exactly where my mind was. So very nice. Ronald McKee scored 2 R's on Bank of New York. Guys, go ahead and type in what you expect to be getting tomorrow. Angie, I'm going to go take one more peek at these day trades. And Angie, while I'm doing that, would you read? Did you take any notes, or did people type in?
Did.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I did.
How many R's were scored today by whom?
I did. So briefly, Lewis has had a awesomely successful day. Remember, Lewis trades on art, not on R's. So he keeps track with his ROI, and he's really happy with what he's done today. Prasad, I saw you were up 2R. I didn't see if that's your total. And Rick Kanzierski signed off with a plus 4.5R day.
Nice.
I think he said, was it Rick that said that today he broke his record for the day, for R's for one day?
Sweet.
I apologize if I am reading that wrong. And then Ron, of course, posted his 2R, but I don't know if that was your total, Ron. Let me know.
Yeah, that was just for either Bank of New York or Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, 2R day. Woohoo!
So Microsoft just kind of going sideways now. Morgan Stanley fighting. Let's see. I moved my stop up to 37.06, which is pretty darn tight, but it's the below the bottom of this. I guess we still do have 20 minutes. We might get an end of day rally, and I'm thinking we may get that on Bank of New York. So I'm leaving my stop a little bit looser. Morgan Stanley has just had this incredible run. So I'm thinking some of the steam may be done with Morgan Stanley, but Bank of New York waited much later for its bullish run, so it may have an end of day run as well. Cool. What do we have that's gapping tonight or tomorrow? Anybody got any tickers you want me to take a look at for gaps? And if not, I'm going to go look at more transportation stocks. I've got one here on my list that says NSC. Or if there are any other tickers you want me to take a look at for any reason. I have lots of lines here. Norfolk Southern Corporation.
I think Ron's question is for you, Brad. Do you have the same R on your day as your swing?
I do. I do. Well, actually, Ron, you know what? I don't swing trade. Yeah, I haven't been swing trading since about October, September, maybe.
So I'm curious, if you did, would you start with a lower R than you do on your day trades, or would you start at the same R? How would you approach that?
I think I'd start at the same R.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the setups, the shapes and the chart patterns and the candle patterns, they're all the same for day trading. Swing trading is just the time thing.
Right.
And also just, I got burned quite a bit in 2013 by one candle. So there'd be one day where either some idiot did something in the news, or the news just started reporting something, and the market just completely tanks, and just it would bypass my stop or gap beyond my stop. And there's about 3 or 4 days where I just got hammered. And you know, when one day takes out about 3 months of wins, I was talking to Jeremy and I'm like, dude, this is killing me. What's going on? And he's like, dude, you're a day trader. Um, and I said, I know I'm a day trader. I've always wanted to day trade, but I've always thought it was too scary, too risky. And he's like, have you seen the videos? And I was like, okay. Now, granted, those videos had only been there for like 2 or 3 days, but Jeremy was like, dude, you're a day trader, go day trade.
He pegged your personality. Nice.
And yeah, and also about that time is when I really started getting involved with real life trading and doing a whole lot of work. And it sounds weird. I don't have time to swing trade. Most people say I don't have time to day trade. At any rate, but this looks like a double bottom to me. The neckline there. What don't I like about that? The simple moving average is rolling over. If you guys want me to look at stocks that are doing announcements and that may be gapping, go ahead and type those in. We are on the 50. Why did we roll over like that?
Because it rolled over there once before?
Okay. There, yeah. Okay, on NSC, I like Dr. Irwin's terms, cautiously bullish. So what I'm seeing here is that, let me just do this to get some stuff off the picture. All right, let's go back to the simples. I think, there we go. All right, so this big bullish candle here, oh man, it's got low volume. All right, now I'm not bullish anymore. Okay, so we had a gap here that's been retesting. And we have a little sideways pattern going on. And I guess the question is that a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern? Is the magic question. It doesn't look like it's been respecting the 100 very much. The 200's coming in. This is also closing above the exponentials. And you know what? When the moving averages are going sideways and when the exponentials are going sideways, usually the stochastics can give us a bit of a sign as to what might be happening. The stochastics, maybe it hasn't been going sideways enough. I am not seeing bullish divergence in the RSI. I guess I really don't have a strong edge on NSC. Justin Linderman says, measure the pullback from the last time it touched the 10 EMA. So let's turn on the EMAs. So the last time it touched, okay, so the pullback has been getting smaller and now it closed above it. That's not something that I have tested a lot. You know what? Here's what I think if this thing closes, if we get a close above today's candle, I would be more bullish than bearish. If tomorrow is down and we get a close below there, actually I'm going to put it below this wick, then I would be more bearish than bullish. So I think that's if you wanted to trade Norfolk Southern Corporation, that's how I would do it. All right. Hawaiian Holdings. That looks sideways. I've seen this pattern before on Hawaiian, and I think I traded it bullish, and I lost, I think. I'm wondering. I'm trying to find it now. Actually, this right here looks kind of like this right here. And it kind of looks like this right here. So I think I would wait on Hawaiian Airlines, but I think it may be bullish. I think it may be bullish. That's insightful. Not.
Did you see Johnny's note and check out the Bollinger Bands?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Johnny says it's
Then,
got a
oh,
squeeze
wow.
going on.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear
yeah.
I hear Newsom singing "The Squeeze is on."
Mm.
All right. So based on this bit of knowledge, thank you very much for that tip. The high of this candle is 1972. So if we get a pop above 1972, then I would be more bullish than bearish. The low of this candle is 1801. So if we get a move below 1801, I would be more bearish than bullish. So that's how I would trade Hawaiian Holdings. That is a squeeze. That is a beautiful squeeze. Overall, though, I'm slightly more bullish. I hope it pops up. This is a gap and go though, so it doesn't have to retest. But yeah, okay. Okay, is P a requested ticker? Pandora? Pandora has entered a squeeze. It's not very much of a squeeze. I'd like for those Bollinger Bands to get even a little bit tighter, but it is on a nice pivot point. Actually, I take that back. I do like this squeeze. The reason I like the squeeze is because of the location on this one. It's right on this very nice solid pivot point. So a break in either direction could be very significant. You will get an amazing reward risk ratio if it goes bullish. And I bet you get a similar one if it goes bearish. I like Pandora. So if I was swing trading, this is one that I would do with real money. I would trade it about like that. Because if it goes up, you know, you're looking that for a target. And that is a very healthy 2.5 to 1 reward risk ratio. Maybe it's a 2 to 1, but that would do very, very nicely. Okay, day traders. I think I'm just going to go ahead and just dump this one. Whatever I have left. Man, it's going to take me forever to keep up with all my notes. Morgan Stanley did come and hit my stop, so I'm trailed out of that. Microsoft is still going sideways, so yeah, that's that. Bank of New York Mellon, man, that thing's still going up. It's still going up. Jeepers creepers. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and sell it. So let's see. Let's do a market. And I am long. Okay, yeah, sell. Okay, so I'm all done with my day trades, and I will go back and document what I did. Usually you guys are typing in tickers for what you would like to see me analyze for gaps tomorrow. I wonder if because everyone crushed it today, you're not trading tomorrow. Yeah, I really like Pandora. That is a sweet one. let's see, I was going to look at American Airlines, and I can hear Jeremy singing the jingle. Just going a little bit sideways. Low volume on the bullish move, so I think we get some more sideways action. That 100 is a little bit of a bullish push, but it did get below the 100. It retested the 100, and now it's moved above it. This is a very strong pivot point here. I see this on American Airlines. It's too big to be a head and shoulders or a complex head and shoulders, but I anticipate that the 200 will come in, and this middle to end of April will be the key moment for American Airlines. I hope it takes off, but I'm worried it might crash. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the applause I know you're doing for that joke. I'll be here for another 4 minutes. Was that even remotely funny, Angie? It's tough to like crack a joke and then there's like silence.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Dead silence. Yeah. No, I think it was
Yeah.
good. That was a good joke. Yeah, that was really good.
Okay, no, I know it wasn't a good joke. Was it a good joke for me? is the question.
Yeah, it was a good joke for you. Yeah, you got my support. I'll be there. And then we
Yay!
drink. Yep, Zane. Nice.
Yes, I am well hydrated. Thank you. Cool. Any other tickers? What do you guys want me to take a look at? We got about 3 or 4 more minutes. I've gone through all of the transportation stocks that my little mind can muster. I've closed out of all the day trading positions. Let's see, AXP was looking pretty interesting. It has rolled over. Oh, wow. Okay. And then Men's Warehouse. Ew, glad we stayed out of that one. DDD for Ken Bonnet. All right, DDD. We should go look at some of our old friends if we have time, like Plug. Angie, you still trading Plug?
Yeah, I'm still holding my shares and doing covered calls.
Nice.
Slow and steady.
Nice. Yeah, you made a comment on one of our meetings a while back that Plug has just given you steady monthly income. You're not going to go buy a Ferrari anytime soon, but it's a really nice supplement to your monthly income. Was that you that made that comment?
Yep, that's the goal.
All right.
It's
DDD.
meeting my expectations. Yep.
There you go. I like taking this bearish with a break below that line. It's been going bearish for a while. One concern I do have, and I think it breaks bearish. I'm looking at the size of this bearish move, and then there's a gap in here. And then this bearish move looks to be at about the same size, but not quite as fast. So we could go sideways for a little bit. So I think I would like this to go sideways just a little bit, just to marinate, just to shake out some of the profitable bearish traders. Let those guys and gals close out their positions. Let this 100 come in a little bit and then pop below that pivot point. But if it does break below that line, I would be more bearish than bullish. And based on that close touch, that touch, the touches we're getting now, I would let this thing break, come back, and then that's when I would place my trade. That's what I do. Questions, comments, opposing views, additional tickers, type them in quickly. FCAU. Bought puts a while back, expires in 8 days. If you bought puts a while back and you're profitable, they expire in 8 days. I would make that your target, because I think there is a significant chance that this thing bounces or moves sideways. But trade your plan, trade the plan that you have tested. Charter Communications has made an extremely bullish move. I would expect it to do kind of what it did there, kind of what it did there. I think it's going to go sideways for a couple of days. So we might look for an entry up here after it does some of this for a day or two. Wow, now you guys type in all the tickers. FCAU. This will be my last one. I have to type it in correctly, evidently. TradingView has a new, wow. Fiat, gappy little thing. Volume looks good. I don't like trading things that gap this much, but I would say if we move higher tomorrow, that I would be more bearish than bullish. Be aware this is a retest gap. So it may retest, but that is a very strong bullish volume. I bet tomorrow we gap up, come down, wick it, and then take on up. That's what I'd say for Fiat tomorrow. Hey guys, thank you so much. Appreciate all you guys being here. Congratulations to everyone who had an epic trading day. So proud of you guys. I had a great day trading as well. And I owe it a lot to you guys for sharing your trading plans with me over the last couple of weeks, sharing your trade ideas, sharing your trade setups. So thank you guys. My family thanks you. Guys, thanks for making real life trading what you do. It is awesome. Have a good one. Trade on logic, not on hope. I'm going to end the recording now.